So, good morning, everyone. So, we're the team from UTS, and the problem that we've been focusing on for this Nudgeathon is privacy engagement. So, the question to us that we were trying to answer is how do we get people to go beyond their automatic thinking and slow down to make deliberate, informed decisions when it comes to sharing their data? The solution that we propose is a series of short, animated, engaging videos staggered with quiz questions. But we'll go into the details of that later. I just want to start spending some time on some of the behavioural insights that we identified. So we identified a range of insights present in this passive engagement with privacy information, including hassle factors, attribute substitution, and present bias. But the two that we believe our solution really focuses on is salience and informational avoidance. Now, we're presented with so many terms and conditions almost on a daily basis and automatically click yes and continue. Even last week, not making this example up just for today, I was buying a plane ticket. Do you want to accept the terms and conditions? Yep, click, go on. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. We don't even stop and think. It's because when we're presented with this, our brain doesn't get a signal that, hey, I need to slow down and actually think through what I'm actually doing here. So we believe our solution puts customers in a situation that they're not really used to, so they don't have a predetermined set of heuristics to fall back on. Next, informational avoidance. Now, we know from the survey data that customers know that there's valuable information in these privacy statements. They know that they're probably agreeing to something that they're not totally comfortable with. They don't want to go through the effort of looking and feeling insecure and overwhelmed by the information. So how do you avoid this? You stick your head in the sand and you pretend it doesn't exist at all. So once again, we believe our solution puts customers in a situation where they actively engage with this process and minimises the situation for avoiding the information in the first place.
So our video feature transformed the conventional privacy statement of like the consumer data right into 3 short video clips, and each of them gonna last 30 to 60 seconds each. And we believe short video lengths gonna help keep our audience engaged and attract their attention, not just skipping on the information they're going to go through like with the on the paper. And because if the video is too long, and we always know how long it will be like just by looking at the bar underneath the video, and they're just going to decide not to watch at the beginning without even starting the video. So that's something we definitely try to avoid. And also we want also the 30 seconds and to 60 seconds is recommended by the Wistia fishermen, like the website who investigate the over 1.6 billion video plays on over 500,000 videos. That's like the optimal videos length. And also we want to put animated figure in our videos. So animated figures keep people engaged, and research shows that they have significantly positive impact on audience attitude towards the content of the video and choice of getting engaged. We also introduce like a time lock that ensures the video cannot be skipped, and if you switch the tabs or minimize your windows, the video is gonna stop playing automatically. And the last thing is play alongside the actual private statement. So here is the example that I put on. So this is the potential videos that might have the information that we want to, the key information that we want to mention in the videos, and this is the actual privacy statement that is being produced. And so you can see as the video plays along and we highlight the key point mentioned in the video, so it's easier for the consumers or like audience look back when they, after finishing the video and trying to look more carefully with the details or like the items of the private statement.
With regards to the actual content of the video itself, we really want to emphasize that the whole process is really optional in regards to how much data they want to share with the third party and if they want to share any data at all. And also what the third parties can actually do with the data. So to try and provide a more holistic understanding of data sharing, we'll also be trying to provide them with a pros and cons list of sharing data so they can understand how it can benefit them and some other things that they should maybe be looking out for. Also, another thing in the video that we want to address is some frequently asked questions and to illustrate some unusual or interesting facts in relation to data sharing, possibly at the beginning of the video to really catch their attention and make them engage.
So like after each of these like short 30-second videos, there'll be like a post-video quiz, and there'll be a series of questions, and each one will be multiple choice. They'll get progressively more difficult, so the first one will be quite easy to kind of get them in. And then, yeah, they'll get more difficult, and you'll have like a progress bar kind of showing how many of these questions they've answered correctly. After each incorrect answer, they'll get feedback about what the correct answer was. And if they get the answer correctly, they'll get some kind of like nice graphic to make them feel good about themselves. If all questions are answered correctly, then a donation will be made to charity. So this will hopefully leverage loss aversion, and I'll explain that in more detail here. So here's an example of the type of question that we might get them to answer. Which of the following is one of the government bodies that will regulate the open data rights system? So this isn't rhetorical. Like, what do you guys kind of think? Who thinks A? C? Okay, so what's it? That's good. I mean, you should know this, right? So yeah, the answer will be highlighted like that, and they'll get this kind of nice, like, congratulations, and they'll see a bit of progress. You're 2 correct answers away from a donation being made on your behalf. And so, like, it leverages loss aversion in the sense that, like, if you've answered 2 questions correctly, you feel like you've kind of achieved something, and then, like, the stakes are kind of high-ish on the third one. Like, so if you get that one wrong, you might feel kind of disappointed, and you want to avoid that sense of loss. So we also have an idea for a control experiment that you could run. So essentially the control group would basically just like look at the standard kind of form of the privacy statement and then answer these kind of similar questions. And then the treatment group will have to answer these questions while viewing the video. And the proxy for like informed decision making could be like how many of their answers are correct. So yeah, we like this idea, and we'd like to hear what you have to say.
So on the donation to charity, where would this money come from?
Yeah, good question. We were kind of anticipating this question. So, like, in our heads, it could come from kind of 2 main sources, I guess. The government could, like, maybe get this up and running. And then we were thinking, especially given, like, a couple of the speakers yesterday, like, really kind of were interested in the consumer data, right? Maybe some of the money could come from third parties. So, yeah, like, this is kind of an open access problem, so potentially you could kind of make them pay like a licensing fee to have access to this system, and yeah, and that way, like, they would be interested, and well, they have an incentive to participate in this, so yeah, the money could come from them.
Thank you for the presentation. So do you anticipate a person watching this video every time they're going to sign a terms and condition?
So it's not so much the terms and conditions, but the initial sharing of the data. So when you kind of first come into some sort of an open data right, I'm not sure if the open banking is going to be different to the telecommunication or whatever it is, but you could see, okay, if this is the first time I'm engaging in the open banking, I'm going to be presented with these set of videos with specific information to the open banking. So if it's materially different in the telecommunications or energy sector, then I guess you could have a different set of informative videos, yeah.
Like when you use videos, one of the things that I learn when you watch some sort of advertisements is that different target groups react differently to certain videos. So have you thought about how to get people to watch the right videos, the ones that talk to the specific audience, or is it one generic one for everyone?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. But no, we haven't considered diversifying it to different demographics. What we kind of had in mind was more, yeah, the generic style ones, because from our understanding in the past, the government has employed, third parties to make generic informative videos that kind of do tailor to a large audience. So that's kind of more what we had in mind.
So you've spoken a lot about the initial provision of consent, but not so much about the use of that information to support switching. Do you have anything to say about the latter?
That's not something that we would focusing on too much. It was more just getting that initial consent through, and then, yeah.
Thank you.